Remember when getting a computer virus was a dramatic event? It usually meant your screen turning blue, a glaring warning pop-up, or your entire system crashing loudly and completely. Today's most sophisticated cyber threats operate entirely in the shadows. They avoid crashing your computer to stay completely silent and look perfectly ordinary while they work. Because modern malware hides in plain sight, looking for those old, loud warning signs leaves us highly vulnerable. Expecting an obvious threat makes it incredibly easy to let a quiet one slip through. Picture a normal Tuesday morning at your desk. An email arrives from what looks like a colleague, complete with a familiar signature and an attachment labeled Urgent Report. You open the file. It looks like a standard spreadsheet, but a small, polite prompt appears at the top of the screen, asking you to enable content or enable macros to view the data. These attackers bypass technical barriers by convincing the person behind the screen to authorize the commands themselves. They leverage your own user permissions to authorize the attack. To understand how this works, we need to look at what a digital document actually is. These files are complex containers capable of holding active, executable instructions. We call these instructions macros. Originally, a macro was a helpful tool designed to automate repetitive administrative tasks, like formatting a massive table of numbers with a single click. This animated diagram shows a typical document's architecture. Notice how the normal text and data layers sit right alongside a hidden, isolated container of executable code. Attackers exploit this structure by swapping out helpful instructions for malicious commands, burying them deep inside an ordinary-looking report. Those malicious commands remain completely dormant until provoked. But the moment you click that Enable Macros button, the script executes, sending instructions directly to the computer's memory. While you continue reading what appears to be an innocent, harmless file, those harmful actions are running quietly in the background, out of sight. A weaponized macro turns an everyday business tool into an invisible staging ground for a full-scale cyber attack. You might be wondering why traditional antivirus software or security scanners fail to stop these document-based attacks at the gate. The answer involves a tactic known as Fileless Malware. Fileless malware never downloads a traditional, recognizable virus file to your computer's hard drive. This network logic map shows how the attack works instead. An external malicious script bypasses the hard drive and hijacks the pathway of an established, trusted administrative tool that your operating system already recognizes. It turns that trusted node against the surrounding local network. Because the attack uses the computer's own authorized tools, it creates a massive blind spot for security programs. As the scanner sweeps past, the malicious activity registers as a standard everyday operating system function. Security professionals call this living off the land. The attacker uses the computer's internal infrastructure to quietly monitor keystrokes, establish hidden backdoors, or extract sensitive data. Because fileless malware succeeds by wearing the exact camouflage of normal system operations, traditional software defenses are insufficient once that initial code is triggered. Since the technical execution of this attack relies entirely on your initial permission, the attacker's primary weapon is psychological manipulation. These campaigns use incredibly accurate corporate formatting. They spoof email addresses so they look like they come from your boss, and they use familiar vendor names to build immediate trust. Then they apply pressure. Subject lines demanding an immediate review of a contract or threatening penalties for an overdue payment are specifically engineered to bypass your critical thinking. Advanced threats are highly refined social engineering mechanisms designed to manufacture panic. They force you to click before logic can intervene. Because these hidden attacks slip past software barriers, the final decision to trust or verify rests entirely with you. You are the point where an attack is either permitted or stopped. To defeat them, we must establish a new behavioral baseline for unexpected documents. The first step is simple. Take a deliberate pause to assess the situation before interacting. Next, apply a strict verification process. Were you actually expecting this file? Check the sender address for typos and question any artificial urgency. Finally, follow a clear action protocol. If any single element feels suspicious, never enable content. Leave the macros disabled and immediately forward the item to your IT or security team for analysis. Consistent awareness ensures that even the most convincing deceptions fail to compromise the network. This daily caution makes it significantly harder for invisible threats to gain a foothold.